Welcome to the newest episode of Beyond the Fame with Jason Fraley. I'm your host, Jason Fraley, picking the brains of the top filmmakers, musicians, and artists of our time. Pop rock sensation LP performs live at the Anthem in Washington, D.C. tomorrow night. They join me to discuss their global hits like Lost on You and activism for the LGBTQ+ community.
What's going on, man?
Hey, LP, hey, thanks so much for joining us on WTOP in Washington, D.C.
What up? How are you?
I'm doing all right. Where are you calling us from?
I just got to Chicago today.
All right, so you're bouncing around and you're going to end up coming to DC at the Anthem, which is a great spot on Tuesday, November 7th for the Love Lines tour. Now, before we get into any of that, I have to say my wife has been playing your music constantly for the last couple years because she was playing an acoustic. She's a musician. She was playing an acoustic gig at a vegan restaurant in Maryland. And after her set, one of the waitstaff came up and said, "Hey, do you want to hear the coolest new artist that's out right now? Send her a link to Lost on You." And she packed up her gear and listened to that song, literally on repeat half the ride home.
Oh, that's so dope.
So the word is out there around Maryland. It's been for a couple years, but yeah, if folks come to the Anthem, is it like Love Lines, the album, like start to finish, or do you sprinkle in the hits a little too?
I was picking the hits too. I got playing that whole album, which feels really good. And then we're playing, we're just playing, we're rotating things. You definitely hear some Lost on Here for sure, but we're rotating in all kinds of songs.
That's awesome. What do you love about the new album compared to the other ones you've done?
I don't know. There's just like a freshness, like a freedom to it somehow. There's I feel like there's always kind of looking within kind of vibe, but this one in particular, I feel like it feels like more so than usual. But it just also feels there's something really easy about it, you know. And when I think it's the first record I've written in like maybe it might be the first record I've ever written single, you know what I mean? Or like kind of, just kind of hanging out with different people and da da da. I don't get into it too much, obviously.
Other people put out singles, but you're literally putting out singles in this.
Yeah,
I love it.
That's
One year, it
That's
took a
right.
second.
Well
We
said.
call them
Woo!
joke grenades. They
Jason,
take a second,
you're
and
on
then
it. Yeah, joke
they
grenades.
explode later.
Yeah, but I like the ones that like you don't get into, like lie in bed at night and you're like, oh shit,
You're like,
I have to
oh,
get
that's
that.
what they meant. I wish I could
Those
laugh. I wish I could laugh for
oops.
them, but they're long gone at this
Yeah,
point.
they might have like punched you in the face though.
Yeah, exactly.
Not you, not for that. I'm just
Right,
kidding.
exactly. Whenever I have someone, famous like yourself on, I always love to sort of chart your chronological journey a little bit. So I know you're born in 81. What all did you grow up listening to? Like, what were your early influences, your favorite artists, on the scene back then?
It was Brooklyn. Most of this, my mom listened to opera, and my dad didn't really care. He liked all these channels, you know what I mean? Like he liked like Elvis shit, and Johnny Cash and stuff like that. I didn't really his musical opinion did not matter, TBH, but he was like, so there wasn't a lot of we weren't that family, and as a result, I think I'm not really one of those people that wakes up and puts on music. Maybe it's because I have music in my head already, like when I wake up, but I don't really put on music till later in the day. So I don't know. I don't really like. I would not say I come from like a family that like was that jacked about music. In fact, pretty much. I don't know about my mother. My mother sang opera and studied opera when she was young, but like I think my father was like the antichrist as far as like a musical career. That's a bold statement. I don't really give a shit, but yeah, he just definitely didn't believe in like doing music. He was always making me sing for his friends, and I could tell he knew I was musical, but like it was kind of like be a doctor, be a lawyer, all that antiquated dumb shit, whatever. Sorry, radio people. I know you've never heard anybody curse before, but I don't really care.
It's all right. I'll probably leave that. I'll
Bleep
leave
it
that
out.
out of the FM radio
Bleep.
version, but I'm gonna put it in the
Yeah.
podcast, baby. Why not?
So yes, I'm very like I don't like I'm autodidactic. I didn't like I did voice lessons, but it's basically scales. Someone showed me a few chords on the guitar, but I didn't know how to write songs, where to write songs, what they were really like intrinsically. And so I just did my best, and I worked at it, and I, took had a lot of experiences, and I think they did me well. So
Absolutely. And
yeah.
then between that and before when you launched before launching your first album, Heart Shaped Scar, didn't David Lowery of Cracker help you out with that? What weren't
He
you were like
did.
doing backup vocals on some of Cracker's songs? I don't think it was Low. It was
Well,
Cinderella.
no, I wrote. He had a tour manager that wanted to be my manager at the time, and he uh, he loved my voice. I started singing some backup, but then he asked me to co-write a song that he had started, and that was a song called Cinderella that was on the hidden track on that record when they had hidden tracks. And then I went out like as a little mascot on their tour, and yeah, and it got me going. And then I got a record deal, and I asked him to produce it, and he did. And yeah, and yeah, it was just like basically a liaison that he gave me something, I gave him something, and yeah, and that's it.
That's awesome. So he actually helped produce that first one, Heart Shaped Scar, and then you follow up
He
with
did. He did produce it.
Suburban Sprawl and Alcohol. How do you think
Yeah.
how do you think you'd grown from that first Lowry produced one to that one?
I don't know. I didn't want like. I feel like that one was such a young kind of, I don't know. It was like bluesy and shit. I don't want to. I never. I realized very early on that you can't, like, not you can't, but like that I didn't really want to embark on the blues, kind of the white girl blues singer thing. You know what I mean? There's often no money in it, and sorry, but money's nice. So you know, it makes you feel like you're doing something. No offense, but like, so I just, and I was fascinated with songwriting, the most. You know what I mean? I really had a hard time picturing myself getting somewhere as an artist. I'll be honest with you, because I don't look the way you're supposed to look, and I don't act the way you're supposed to act, and I don't want to, for real. I don't want to act or look the way you were quote unquote supposed to look when I was coming up, so I didn't really, so so I kind of tried to go away from that shit that I did with David Lowery. I love him, and then he's great at what he does. But I started going. I wanted to go more pop, so I was trying to write more pop songs. For what I knew of pop songs, I don't, we get from the get go. I don't know anything. I didn't know anything. I still don't know anything. So I just started writing songs I thought were pop for Heart Shaped Scar. I mean, for Suburban Sprawl, and then I got record deals. I got my first major label deal like a couple of years after that, and then I started writing pop-ish rock songs for myself. Couldn't find a lane, didn't have a record out, um and then I got a publishing deal, Irony of Ironies. Started writing songs for the people, which I started having success at. But I
Yeah,
started trying
including
to dabble in.
hang on, we got to tell everybody. You can't just, it's not just people. It was Backstreet Boys and Rihanna and Christina
Yeah,
Aguilera, like
yeah,
big names.
yeah. And I was like, yo, this is cool. Like I can be like, I could be like on the like low key tip, and it's like, hey, like, what do you do for a living? I write songs for people. Oh, sick. Like, for who? Like, like for these people. And like, oh,
Oh,
cool.
Cher.
And
Have you
it
ever heard
felt
of
nice.
Cher or Celine
Yeah,
Dion?
yeah, 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 yeah. I really, really liked the subtlety of that. I gotta be honest with you. It was very, very cool, and then I don't know, I just started like I got signed to these new managers, who are still my managers 13 years ago. And that guy had nothing to do with my Rihanna track. This was before. It's like more like he, I think, found out about me through that. But he was Rihanna's manager from the beginning until Jay-Z and Rock Nation took her over in 2010. And but he was like, one of the first managers I met that had taken someone from like zero to like superstar. And he's done it with other people since then. He's gotten me very far as well. But I only signed him as a writer. But
Mm.
he was always very cool, and be like, he's like, yo, we think you're not done being an artist, really. So, it'd be
Wow.
great if you kept writing for you. And I did. And that's when I started writing things like Into the Wild. And that's when I really kind of found myself as a writer, for as an artist, you know. And so and then you know, it just kept going like that. And and then and now I didn't even have Lost on You then. Like, I, you know, Into the Wild, like kind of embarking on being an artist again. I went into a 3-year stint with Warner Brothers. At the end of that stint, when everybody that believed in me either like got fired or left, I had Lost on You and a couple other songs on that record that have been synced like so many times. And you know, I'm so lucky. And I played Warner Brothers, the new people, Warner Brothers, Lost on You and Strange and Muddy Waters, and then he dropped me. and
Wait,
then I
they
was like,
dropped
oh
you
shit,
after you played them Lost on You? They dropped you?
yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
What,
It's
they just
pretty
didn't
pretty
think it
sexy,
had
right?
potential, which is crazy.
No, no, they
It's
didn't
a
get it. They're
banger.
like, oh yeah, 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 and yeah, and the dipshit that was like at the helm there even dared play me a song that was like by a guy that's not gay about being gay. I was like, oh, that's rich, beautiful. Okay, see you guys later. But I also walked without owing them all the money that I was supposed to owe them. So, you know, and I've told that story hundreds and hundreds of times. And the reason why I tell that story is not because I need some kind of like lift or exoneration. My life is great, you know. I say it for those people who are like getting like, you know, what it in the butt from labels as we speak. And I want them to go, oh man, like, I gotta keep writing songs. It's like, yeah, you do. Keep writing songs. That's it. You know, and so yeah, it's like that, you know. And you know, and I might sound a little bit like I have a chip on my shoulder. Bet your ass I got a chip on my shoulder. It's great, you know, like, and it's like, and it's for a reason, and it's inspiring to me, and I just keep going. You know, I'm like, yeah, you know, like, I really don't. I have respect for myself for keeping going. I gotta say, and
Absolutely.
and I would, yeah, I would implore anybody to do the same because it feels good at the end of the day, you know, because no one's going to come to your house and pull a guitar out of your hands, you know. Just keep going and writing and believing that you can do it because you can, you know.
That's great advice. Yeah, and thank you. You took us through Forever for Now. You took us
Is
through
that enough
Lost on You.
chronological stuff for you, man? You know,
That's
because you give me
enough.
that
Yeah, I'm
long.
not going to go through all of them, but yeah, everyone can check them out. But
Fuck,
hey, before
yeah, let's say like James Brown when he's like gacked out of his mind in that interview. Let's talk about the music.
yeah,
There you go.
exactly. Well,
That's
I
what he
want to
says,
ask
and that's what I believe.
before we run, I do want to ask about you found some unlikely success in countries that are not always LGBTQ friendly, you know, Eastern Europe, Latin America,
Yeah.
Russia. I think you filmed the video
Yep.
for Dayglow in Czechia to advocate for marriage equality there. In
Yeah.
Russia, you'll see some oligarchs come to your shows standing side by side with teens.
Yeah.
Tell me why that's important for you, and like you're sort of breaking down you know, walls.
Because I just believe in I believe in people. I don't believe in governments. I don't believe in religion or governments. And you know, look around. That's every reason why we're fucked right now. Religion and government. I don't believe in either of them, and I believe in people. And I'm just like, I think when you come up to me, my energy says just that, you know. And I'm about love, you know, and about connection with people through that. And I don't really have time, you know, for a bunch of dudes that think they own the land or people or anything. I think that's an adorable moment. That makes me want to go boop on someone's nose. Oh, you know, you're gonna talk to me about God? Oh, you're gonna tell me you own this place? You don't own shit. You ain't shit. That's it. And I just feel like people know that about me, and so I'm just like I'm about them. I'm not about where they're from or what they believe in. You know, as long as they're kind to me, I'm kind to them.
Did you just give a super bad boop to the nose? Is that what
Yeah, I did. I
the,
did. It's a super bad boop to the nose that I have for every single big patriarchal bullshit that this world thrives on. And you know, come on, man, boop.
all about the boop,
You don't know
McLovin style.
anything.
I love it.
Yeah, McLovin style. And
I
I
love it.
sometimes online I see people say that I look like McLovin. I take that with a great source of pride.
Really?
Oh yeah, it'd be like if one of my things goes when one of my TikToks goes viral, some hilarious people are like, "Oh, McLovin." I'm like, like McLovin my fist up your butt. Anyway, sorry about that.
I'm gonna put a
How about
disclaimer.
Nick Hayton? You might want to.
No, it's all
You
right.
might
No,
wanna
I love the raw and
cut it.
realness of it. But hey,
Raw
if you want,
realness.
exactly, if you wanna get booped on the nose, come out to the Anthem in DC for the Love Lines tour with LP. It's gonna be on Tuesday,
You're only
November 7th.
booped on the nose if you think you're like, like running shit, because we're all just here for a second.
Hey, you're coming to
That's it.
Washington,
Sorry,
D.C., where those folks need the politicians here need the booping more than anybody. So
Yeah.
we really appreciate you joining us.
Thanks, man. I'm a little feisty this morning. I'm on my 700th cup of coffee, so sorry if I messed it up.
No, that's
Love
fine.
you.
I got coffee flowing through my veins. It's all right. I feel you.
Dope. All right. I'll see you
All right.
soon. All
See
right.
ya.
Bye,
Bye.
Jason. Thanks, man.
Thanks so much for listening to Beyond the Fame with Jason Fraley. Our theme music is Scott Buckley's Clarion. Remember to give us a 5-star rating if you like what you hear. We'll see you next time.